a sweet reminder of the past, summarizing the baker from Goa. The chapter, Baker from Goa, from Ruskin Bond's Glimpses of India, takes us on a nostalgic journey to a time when bakers held a special place in Goan villages. The narrator, through his childhood memories, paints a vivid picture of these bakers, their attire, their bread-making process, and their importance in the community. The piece begins by describing the traditional attire of the Goan baker, a kabai, or a single-piece long frock reaching down to the knees. We are then transported back in time to the narrator's childhood, where the baker, an integral part of the village, would visit every morning. The rhythmic jingle of his bamboo staff signaled his arrival, prompting children and adults alike to rush out with their orders. The process of baking bread, from the mixing of ingredients to the final product, is described in detail, highlighting the hard work and dedication of these bakers. The chapter concludes with a tinge of sadness as the narrator observes that the traditional baker is a dying breed, replaced by modern bakeries. Yet the memories of the past linger, reminding us of a simpler time and the importance of preserving traditions. Bread and identity, exploring the themes of the chapter. The Baker from Goa is more than just a nostalgic trip down memory lane, it's a commentary on the impact of cultural change. The chapter beautifully intertwines the themes of tradition, change, and nostalgia, using the baker and his loaves as symbols of a bygone era. One of the most prominent themes is the preservation of tradition in the face of modernization. The Goan baker, with his traditional attire and baking methods, represents a way of life that is slowly fading away. The narrator's detailed descriptions of the baker's routine and the importance of bread in Goan society highlight the value placed on tradition. However, the chapter also acknowledges the inevitability of change. The arrival of new technologies and lifestyles has led to a decline in the demand for traditional bakers. This shift is evident in the narrator's observation that modern bakeries are replacing the familiar figures of his childhood. Through these contrasting themes, the chapter evokes a sense of nostalgia, a longing for the simplicity and warmth of the past. The narrator's fond memories of the baker and his bread serve as a reminder of the importance of cherishing traditions, even as we embrace the new. The people who shaped the loaf character sketches. While the chapter revolves around the baker, it's important to note that it doesn't provide a detailed sketch of a single baker. Instead, it paints a collective portrait of the bakers who were an integral part of the Goan landscape. These bakers are portrayed as hard-working and dedicated individuals who played a vital role in their communities. They were not just bread sellers, they were also keepers of tradition. Their daily rounds a testament to a way of life passed down through generations. The narrator, a silent observer and participant in the story, acts as the reader's guide through these memories. His childhood fascination with the baker and his bread is palpable, transporting the reader back to a time when life seemed simpler and traditions held sway. Although the other villagers are not individually characterized, they are presented as a collective, their lives intertwined with the bakers. The children eagerly awaiting the pao, bread, the women rushing out with their orders, and the general air of excitement surrounding the baker's arrival highlight his importance in their daily lives. More than just dough values baked into the story. The Baker from Goa is rich in values that resonate with readers even today. It subtly instills respect for tradition and an appreciation for the hard work of individuals who contribute to our communities. The story emphasizes the value of community and the interconnectedness of its members. The baker's daily rounds foster a sense of unity, bringing people together through the simple act of sharing bread. This sense of community, built on shared traditions and mutual respect, is a value that holds relevance in today's increasingly individualistic world. The chapter also highlights the importance of preserving cultural heritage. The baker, with his traditional attire and baking methods, represents a tangible link to Goa's past. By remembering and cherishing such traditions, we keep our cultural identity alive. How can we, as individuals, contribute to the preservation of our cultural heritage? Well, we can actively participate in cultural events, support local artisans and businesses that uphold traditional practices, and pass on our cultural knowledge to younger generations. Section 5. A toast to nostalgia, the tone of the chapter. The chapter is bathed in a warm, nostalgic tone. The narrator's fondness for his childhood memories is evident in his detailed descriptions and the almost lyrical way he recounts the baker's routine. This nostalgia isn't merely sentimental, it's tinged with a hint of melancholy. The narrator acknowledges that the world he describes is fading away, replaced by a more modern, fast-paced lifestyle. This awareness of loss adds a layer of poignancy to the narrative, prompting readers to reflect on the changes happening around them. However, the overall tone is not one of despair. Instead, it's a celebration of the past, a reminder of the simple joys and strong sense of community that characterized a bygone era. The narrator's love for his childhood and the traditions it represents shines through, leaving the reader with a sense of warmth and a renewed appreciation for the past. Section 6. Literary spice devices used in the narrative. Ruskin Bond masterfully employs various literary devices in The Baker from Goa to create a vivid and engaging narrative. One such device is imagery, which is used extensively to paint a sensory-rich picture of the Goan setting. The reader can almost hear the jingle of his bamboo staff, smell the aroma of freshly baked bread, and visualize the baker's loose-flowing attire. This vivid imagery transports the reader straight into the heart of the story, making them feel like active participants in the scene. Another notable device is the use of metaphors and similes. The baker's arrival is described as a very important event in the village, highlighting his significance in the community. The comparison of the baker's bread to cakes and bolognas sold in city shops further emphasizes the contrast between tradition and modernity. The chapter also employs repetition effectively. The repeated mention of the baker's kabai and the jingle of his bamboo serve to emphasize these iconic elements, further etching them into the reader's memory. Section 7. Test your baking knowledge, competency-based questions. What is the significance of the baker's attire in the chapter? Answer: the baker's attire, particularly the kabai, represents his traditional role in Goan society. It's a visual marker of his profession and a link to the past. How does the author contrast the traditional baker with modern bakeries? Answer: the author contrasts the personal touch and community connection of the traditional baker with the impersonal nature of modern bakeries. The traditional baker is shown as an integral part of the community, while modern bakeries are depicted as more distant and commercial. What are some of the values highlighted in the chapter? Answer: the chapter highlights values such as respect for tradition, the importance of community, and appreciation for hard work and cultural heritage. Section 8. A bite of history, key takeaways and relevance. The Baker from Goa offers a poignant glimpse into a bygone era, reminding us of the importance of preserving our cultural heritage. The chapter's exploration of tradition, change, and nostalgia resonates with readers of all ages, prompting us to reflect on the values we cherish and the traditions we want to keep alive. The chapter's relevance extends beyond its historical context. It serves as a reminder that progress should not come at the cost of erasing our past. By remembering and honoring traditions, we maintain a connection to our roots and preserve the richness of our cultural identity. Ultimately, The Baker from Goa leaves us with a sense of longing for a simpler time and a renewed appreciation for the individuals and traditions that shape our communities.